Well, thank you. Obviously, very grateful to Russell Athletic Bowl and the Orlando community for just an incredible week and an opportunity for our young people. And all of our families, our staff, our coaches, our wives, our children, just an incredible experience and one that will create lasting memories. So we're excited. We've turned our focus here in the last 48 hours to really on getting ready for a really good Louisville Cardinal team and excited about the opportunity to kick that ball off tomorrow night at 6:45. So with that, I'll open up to any questions that you might have.
Yeah, this time we'll open it up to Q&A. If you could please find one of our two people with a microphone if you have a question.
Coach, with a day into the game, what's the perception like with your players, knowing that the University of Miami is back in the bowl game and they're this close to being on the field?
Well, they're excited. We've been excited really since we started our first practice, probably more than 3 weeks ago now. Our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors were not able to experience this, so, and that includes everything. That includes the bowl practices, that includes the travel, the unity and the bonding that occurs during these, that can really only occur when you experience things like this. And they practice with a purpose. I think they've really earned our trust all week by being where you are. They really conducted themselves well, and we're accountable to each other. And now it's really time to get focused in and get ready to play this game. And I think we're in the right, we have a long way to go until we kick it off, but we're in the right frame of mind right now.
Coach, Teddy is such a dynamic quarterback. What have you seen that you're going to do to try to stop him tomorrow night?
Well, I think you can't let him throw in rhythm, and so obviously you have to get pressure on him. You have to change up the rotation or the looks. He'll pick you apart if you just stay in one coverage or if you don't put any pressure on him. I think the thing about Teddy Bridgewater that he probably doesn't get enough credit for is his mechanics are tremendous. Tremendous balance, tremendous mechanics, and really well taught. So he's got poise. His completion percentage to interception ratio is phenomenal. So we have to find a way to get pressure on him, and we have to, obviously make some plays.
Yeah, Coach. Given the current competitive nature of college athletics, do you think that the concept of the Big Three as it used to be, is that still attainable for, obviously you guys in Florida and Florida State to be at that elite level on a regular basis?
Yeah, well, clearly Florida won championships. I don't know exactly, I want to say 6 and 8, 06 and 8, and Florida State is playing for a championship this year, and we have to do our part. We have to continue to build. Obviously, we've been encumbered a little bit more than we would have wanted to have been over the last 2 years, but we feel like we are moving the program forward, and we do have an opportunity with a win tomorrow night to be the first team in Miami in a decade to win 10 games. And given the circumstances and the adversity that we've dealt with, that would be a tremendous task and a great honor for our seniors. So I don't think there's any question that can still happen, and we intend to make it happen.
Good morning, Al. How are you?
Hey, Manny, how you doing?
Not too bad. I know a big theme this season has been, sort of rebuilding this thing, and so my questions are recruiting related. I guess first off, you talk a lot about how these extra bowl practices would really help, especially with recruiting. Recruits would get to see you guys. I guess could you talk a little bit about that and how recruiting is sort of going for you guys with a month before signing day?
Well, there's so many different ways to look at it, Manny. Number one, we didn't have clearly we are one of the largest cities in the country, and in terms of cultivation and recruiting, we have one of the best bases. But yet, the last 2 years, we didn't have the opportunity for those young people to come over and watch bowl practice and be around us the way they are now. We also didn't get this opportunity for a week-long infomercial, if you will, that a lot of our adversaries had the chance to. And then it was all compounded by the fact that we were embroiled in something that brought a sensational element, and we were dealing with a very difficult task. So I think clearly the first two are in place now. The third one has been eliminated, and just in the 2 weeks that I was able to get out, we just have not, Manny, since we've been here. And again, you've covered us from the get-go. The first year was a transition year. We didn't have much time at all to go recruiting, and then the second 2 years we were, dealing with a very tumultuous situation. So it's never felt like it's felt right now, and we feel like we're recruiting to a higher level right now. We feel like the questions that we're getting from parents or coaches or young people, prospects, are in line with what they should be. They should be about our university, about our program, our systems, our philosophy. And I can't tell you how good that feels to be able to just go out and recruit without handcuffs on. So it's been great. This week has been great for us, and can't wait to get back on the road again.
Coach, you were over here. You were talking about those inroads with recruiting. Oftentimes, sometimes Louisville's known as Miami North. 26 guys from the area. In that regard, how important is this for the future with so many eyes in that area on this game?
Yeah, again, Coach Strong and his staff do a great job at identifying who they want to recruit, and I believe the same for our staff. The difference now for us is that we don't have to do it with one hand, really two hands tied behind our back. And so, again, whatever Louisville's philosophy is their philosophy. I don't really worry about what anybody else is doing. I don't worry about the ones you don't get. I worry about the ones that you do get. The ones that you do get have to be able to play. They have to be able to execute. They have to be able to execute, your philosophy on a daily basis. And as it relates to the University of Miami, they have to, attend the #1 school in the state of Florida, and top 40 institution nationally. And so we're proud of that. And so again, we have so much, and I mean this with a great deal of respect for Coach Strong and Louisville. But I would say the same thing if you were talking about Florida or Florida State or any of our other adversaries, especially in the Southeast. I don't really negative recruit. I don't really talk about the other team ever. We feel like we have one of the greatest products that there is in college football. We've gone through a very, very difficult time. And we're excited to go out and sell that again and be able to do that. And, so to be honest, I really don't worry about the other programs because we're in one of the greatest climates that there is in the nation. We're one of the best institutions in the nation. We've had more guys in the NFL than anybody. We've got a great tradition. We played for more national championships than anybody over the last 30 years. We've won more, and it's our job to get it back, and we're going to do it, and we're going to keep fighting, and this is a big step, obviously, moving forward.
Coach, are there any, I know you're seeing Louisville again next year, the regular season, are there any benefits at all, preparation-wise, spend some time looking at them, and also, how do you think they might have fared competitively in the ACC this year? There was a lot of discussion this year about their schedule.
Okay, so the first question was?
Just, obviously personnel will be different, but how this might help you seeing film of them and paying more attention to them now.
To Louisville?
Yeah, for your regular season matchup as well.
Again, I think, Coach Strong, they're as fundamentally sound as any team that we will see. I think they're going to do what they do. And I feel the same way about us. We're going to do what we do. And whenever we meet again next year, depending on quarterbacks, depending on personnel, depending on what direction, both programs go in the spring, and then obviously the way we start the season, it might change a little bit, but we are pretty much who we are, and we're just going to try to get better at it. I think the one thing that we sorely missed, and maybe I underestimated it, and that we really missed were these bowl practices. To see Jermaine Grace and Quan Muhammad and Jamal Carter and Artie Burns and how much better, Gus Edwards, and how much better they have gotten over this, 3.5 weeks or whatever it has been. This time of bowl preparation has been invaluable, and clearly those young guys are going to benefit from it down the road. We've missed that.
And the second part was, how do you think they might have fared in
No, I think
ACC
they're going
this
to be an
year?
excellent team. You know, look, it's a great addition. I'm sorry, I didn't follow. I'm being blinded here by the lights. I can't even. It's a great addition for the Atlantic Coast Conference. It really is. It's making us stronger in every aspect, in every sport. But certainly from a football standpoint, from a men's and women's basketball standpoint, and baseball. I mean, it's going to make us really strong. And we're excited to have them in. And we, you know, Miami, we have to do our part. We have to continue to move and get better. And that's going to help the national appeal of the ACC. But certainly I think Louisville coming in is going to help us. And the brand recognition now from Boston down to Key West is really going to be really strong for us in terms of television sets and in terms of population density. It's really going to make us strong, and I think Louisville is going to help us with that.
Hi, Coach. I wanted to get your thoughts on just Ladarius's progress. The last time he was out there, it ended very scary for him. You know, how has he just been working back from that injury and that situation, and how did that impact all the guys afterwards?
Yeah, thanks, Christy. I think Ladarius, you know, first of all, we have great medical staff, and we're so much better prepared, all of us, in the sport now to handle any injury that may look significant as it relates to the head or neck. So we you know, he ran through all the tests. Certainly, he missed the last game, but was really cleared the next week when we started practice. And he's another young man that has gotten better, and especially at the bowl side. I think he's practicing with a purpose. I think he understands the challenge ahead of him with Teddy and this great receiving core that we're going to face. And he's been really doing well. And in terms of the impact on the team knows that we're going to always be smart with them relative to head injuries, or you know, the protocols that we have in place to make sure that we safeguard their health and put the student athlete welfare first. I think our team trusts that and understand that. So I know they were glad that he was A-okay, number one, okay, and then B, that he was able to return to action and compete like he is.
Coach, you've been coaching in the state for a few years now, and now that you're in Central Florida, I just have to ask this question.
Sure.
Is there room in the state for a Big Four with the way UCF has been progressing over the years?
Again, for you guys, those are all the storylines for you guys. I mean, I wish I lived in that world. You know, sometimes I wish I did, but I don't live in that world. I don't worry about any of those things, and I just think you know, George has done a great job. You know, and what can you say? George is a class act, and he's done a great job, and you know, I'm happy for George. But again, it's hard for me to understand, you know, without playing him or seeing him or being in the league, you know, what all goes into that. You know, other than, you know, you admire the job that he's done from afar. So really, with our student athletes, with our staff, with all that we've been through, we're just focused on Miami and moving Miami forward. And I just can't tell you how good it feels to finally be able to do the things that you came to Miami for. And A, go to bowl games, B, get your team better, C, recruit like you are at Miami, and not, you know, being challenged by things that are circumstances that are out of your control.
Coach, as you've watched the film, who on Louisville kind of jumped off the screen and you believe is a next level talent?
The next level of talent?
Yeah.
Well, there's quite a few. I mean, obviously, starting with Teddy. You know, again, I can't say enough kind things about the young man and his maturity and probably the leadership that he provides to their organization. But he's such a good decision maker and so good with his balance and his rhythm. And those are the challenges for us. So certainly Teddy, but there's others. I mean, the wide receiver core is really talented. Again, I got them all here. Parker, Copeland, you know, all of those guys do a great job. Eli Rogers. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Marcus Smith on the other side of the ball. Very disruptive. You know, 12 plus sacks. You know, the TFLs that he has. Very active. You know, active secondary. You know, Brown at middle linebacker, big, strong, physical kid who can run. So again, those are all some guys, but overall, very balanced on offense. You know, they'll rush for 150 and throw for 300. Very balanced. They do a great job with time of possession. They convert on third down better than just about everybody that we've seen, at over 55%. On defense, you know, they're top 10 in just about everything on defense. I think the one thing that jumps off to me in defense is how disruptive they are. Tackles for loss, sacks, and interceptions. Very disruptive group. And they're experienced. They have an experienced offensive defensive line, which if you can get experience there, you have a chance to be good.
Another recruiting question for you, Al. I know you're limited to what you can say in terms of names and so forth, but in terms of early enrollees, do you have a number now that you're thinking you're going to end up with?
I don't know, Manny. I mean, it's still evolving. I would say safely 8. You know, you probably have it in front of you more than I do, but it's probably about 8. It may grow depending on what transpires here, but you know, we need that. You know, we needed some guys to come in at mid-year and offset some of the losses that we had. And I'm excited for those young people that are coming in, because it's going to give us an opportunity to challenge them and acquaint them to, you know, how we do things at the University of Miami, and cultivate them into, you know, our philosophy and how we do things systematically, and then obviously give them a chance to, to adjust to college life itself. And I'm excited about that.
I guess the second part to that, obviously you have a lot of commitments. You've been building this class for a while, but this last month, are there any position areas that you're still hoping to address, or do you feel like you've pretty much shored up everything you wanted?
No, you know, we still got some positions that we have earmarked. I really don't want to get into the specifics of it, Manny. With all respect, you know, there's still some, you know, you guys really probably do a better job of just charting who we're recruiting. That will tell you, you know, what we're still looking for. But because of, you know, some of the things that we imposed against ourselves the last 2 years, we had a very small class last year, and that's not ideally how you want to build your team. So this class is going to be a large class, and you know, it's kind of backwards. It should have been the other way around. But having said that, we're excited about this group and what they bring, and I really feel like it has a chance to be certainly our best class since we've been here. It may be that already, man, to be honest with you.
Coach, with it being only a day away from the bowl game, what's your main message to the whole team? Is it to make sure that they win? Is it to make sure that they just get out there and play?
Yeah, well, I think clearly we're prepared. You know, we're prepared, but you know, you can lose a lot of games in the final 48. And I think the most important thing for our guys is the trust. You know, we have 120 years of bowl experience on our staff, and but yet we have very few young people on our team that have been to a bowl game. So now they have to understand how to stay focused and how to avoid the lobby and how to avoid all the, because, you know, as the preparation dwindles, you know, as the game approaches, the amount of distractions increases. You know, there's more people in town, there's more family in town now since the holiday, you know, has ended. And so now they really have to trust the formula that we have for them, win the final 48 mentally, and just really stay focused and eliminate, you know, the distractions. And it's easier said than done when you don't have a lot of guys on the team that have been there. So that's going to be our, you know, in addition to what the message is to the team, it's going to be making sure we do that.
I'm going to try and take you to that world, so I apologize. You are a hot commodity coach. Charlie Strong is a hot commodity coach.
Yeah.
Having dealing with him, he is frustrated with answering questions and questions and questions. How do you deal with it when jobs come? You don't answer them?
No. I'm going to have Charlie answer them. Is Charlie coming back in? I'll have Charlie answer for me. You know, we're at one of the greatest places that there is in college football, and we've gone through a really hard time. But it's hard to imagine, you know, places out there that you could, you know, sell, that you could present better than the University of Miami. And we know we're not where we want to be, but we know we're not where we were. It was pretty dark days, as you remember. Many of you covered it. We were on the cover of Sports Illustrated, you know, 2 years ago. So for these kids, and it wasn't because, you know, we were holding up a trophy. You know, they wanted to end the program. I dealt with masses of media my first training camp at the University of Miami. If you can imagine, throngs of media 3 or 4 times the size of this. Manny's over there shaking his head. And the questions were, are you going to have a team next year? And I couldn't believe it. But we had a lot of young men that stood with the University of Miami. We had a lot of coaches and staff that stood with the University of Miami through really, really dark times, dark days. And we're excited about, you know, moving the program forward. We're excited about the experience this week and the opportunities that we have and all that we're doing. You know, we just moved into a new football complex. We just finished a new student center on campus. There's never been a better time to be at the University of Miami in terms of the educational opportunities, in terms of everything that we can afford young people in our college town of Coral Gables, South Miami, Coconut Grove, you know, but yet we have the diversity and culture that only a world-class city like Miami can bring. So we haven't had the opportunity to really sell that, and I'm looking forward to doing that here in January and thereafter.
We have time for one more for Coach Golden. All right, Coach, if you could just remain for 1 second, we'll bring in Coach Strong for a brief